the power of satsanga is so strong, it just makes you sat. Please understand, whatever you remember, whatever you hear becomes part of you, even if you try to avoid. That is why Ramakrishna again and again says, during the spiritual growth time, don't try to have the heroism of going and attacking or spending time with negative people and trying to justify, trying to fight with them and change their opinion. Don't do. Just don't listen. That is the best way. Understand? Ramakrishna says, when a banyan tree is sprouting and growing, even a small goat can destroy it. But if it grows, even elephant cannot do anything. You can tie the elephant in the tree, nothing can be done. But when you are growing, you are just a sapling, plant. A small goat can come and spend half an hour with you and destroy your growth. Don't allow that to happen. Don't think, no, I'll face him, I'll change his logic. No. Negativity is sometimes more appealing to you than positive experience, because 80% of you is still in unconscious. I could see during this scandal, so many wonderful disciples, possibility of getting enlightened. They would have just flowered into enlightenment. Just 1 or 2 sessions with unconscious negative people, enough. They were able to destroy the possibility of enlightenment, the very root of Vidarka. Understand? Whenever Krishna says very beautifully, he gives freedom for enlightened beings to do anything. See, enlightened beings have no rule. They can do anything. But he puts one restriction on enlightened beings. They have no right to destroy anybody's faith on anything, even if it is low, dull, muda. He says, very word, even it is a foolish faith. If somebody has a faith on a small stone, the corner of the village, and does puja to that everything, or sacrifices goat, from the viewpoint of an enlightened being, it is very third rate. How can God ask for his own child, a goat? How can animal sacrifice be allowed? It's such a foolishness. I should destroy his faith. Krishna says no. He says no. Even if it is very low level form of faith, you have no right to destroy it. He says, through that they will come step by step, higher and higher, will reach me. Even if it is a muda, the foolishness, superstitious worship, because of their attitude of worshipping, I myself accept that worship in different forms, the names in which they are calling me. That is why Ramakrishna, even after becoming enlightened, realizing his avataric mission, establishing a group of sannyas disciples, he says, I know I cannot accept animal sacrifice, but I will not stop the animal sacrifice in Kali temple, where he is a priest, he is a chief priest and he is the practically owner. His word is a direct word of Kali Devi in Dakshineshwar Kali temple. If he wanted, in one word, he could have stopped the animal sacrifice. He says, no, I will not disturb their faith. It may not be right. It may not lead them to enlightenment. It may not be right as per my experience. It may not give them the ultimate, but I have no right to destroy anybody's faith, even if it is superstitious. Krishna says, even enlightened beings have no right to destroy somebody's faith, even if it is lowest form. Even if enlightened beings have no right to destroy the lowest form of a faith, what right the lowest fellows have to destroy the faith on enlightened beings. They do not know in what kind of mess they are getting into. Destroying the faith on an enlightened being is the worst conspiracy against the cosmos. I heard there are a few ex-disciples claiming that they are enlightened. Just a few days before I got the news. I said, that's great. If they are, then they should have created their mission. Not that they will be hurting my mission. See, when I grew, when I felt I am much more, I have experienced more, I am growing more, I did not destroy Ramakrishna mission, where I started growing. I just started creating my mission, that's all. When a real growth happens, whether as an enlightenment or realization or experience, you will create your mission, that's all. I just created Nityananda mission. I did not go and spend my time or waste my time in destroying Ramakrishna mission or catching all the Ramakrishna mission disciples and telling them this is what happens there, that is what happens there, destroying their faith. No. Understand, when spiritual growth or enlightenment happens to you, this is the scale. You will create your mission. You will never destroy somebody's faith on anybody, on anything else, even if it is lowest form.
Do not have the repenting mood. Do not have guilt. Do not feel bad. Your religion teaches many gods. I tell you, in Hindu tradition, there is some unique concept called Ishta Devata. You can create your own, customize it, tailor it. The concept of Ishta Devata. There are millions and millions of gods. If you are not satisfied, happy with any of them, create your own. So the concept of Ishta Devata, you make your own. Because Bhagavan says very clearly, whoever calls me in whatever form, whoever approaches me in whatever way, I am there for them. Western influenced mind feels perturbed, little disturbed to see pantheon of gods. Why do you want to merge all of them into one? Feel safe, you are under control? No. Each deity is an independent God. Relate with the deity, connect through the deity, and experience the source. Today I am continuing on the same sutras. Yesterday's sutras. The 119th sutra, chapter 3rd and 30th verse, 1/3 verse. Altered states of awareness. Etena bhuta indriyeshu dharma lakshana avastha parinama vyakyataha. I think I read out the translation yesterday. Today I will start exploring one dimension of this sutra. Yesterday I was revealing one truth related to this sutra. One, when you expand your understanding about the different states of awareness, your fear, greed, joy, everything changes. Naturally, many of the problems which you think as problem disappears. When the awareness is too clouded, too narrow, it sees even a mustard seed as mountain. Please understand. I'll define enlightenment. Enlightenment means having expanded complete understanding about the cosmos continuously, an ability to maintain that understanding in your muscle memory and bio memory continuously. That's all. I'll give you one example. If you sit and watch some movie which is related to space, where they explain in a very detailed and in a very interesting way sun, moon, other stars, other galaxies, the whole cosmos. You see that kind of a movie, especially if you see in IMAX theater. For 3 hours, you are completely transported to a different space. Suddenly, when you come back and understand, oh, you are coming back to the planet Earth, and your continent, your country, and your state, your city, your village, finally the compound where you are staying. You will feel, oh God, such a huge universe. What are we? Small dust and ants, human beings. We are fighting for such silly things. I always used to feel whenever I land in a flight, when you are there, the whole universe, the whole cosmos is there. By the time the flight lands into the compound wall of the airport, you know this useless, idiotic system of the state, country, politics, ownership, land. When the aircraft is landing inside the compound, when the compound wall of the airport is growing and growing around you, you just know, God. Where was I and where am I? That is exactly I feel whenever I open my eyes. Where was I? Where am I? All happens in you is just desha. See, Patanjali here uses the word, very beautiful word. He uses the word bhuta. Just you had an understanding about bhuta, elements. For the 2 hours when you saw that IMAX movie, or the 2 hours when you are in the flight, you had a broad understanding about elements, that's all. Just that one understanding has suddenly shifted you to a different space. If you can catch what I am saying, you will understand. To us, if you see some movie related to space, and slowly get back to this so-called ugly, dirty, third-rate, abused reality. That is the truth. The moment you enter land, the moment aircraft lands on the airport, you know your very consciousness is getting into a kind of an ideological prison. Wow, now it is this state, this country, these are the law, these are the rule, these are the regulation, this is the way you are supposed to act. Poor human beings. If you just have the understanding of an element for only 2-3 hours, how you feel when you come back to this foolishness. Oh God, how nice it will be if I stay there itself. I am giving you one example. I have seen when the flight is high in the sky, whole thing looks like a small dust and you don't bother who is Prime Minister, who is President, who is Chief Minister, who is Governor, who is police, who is lawyer, who is judge. The moment you land, especially slowly when the walls of the airport is seen bigger and bigger, from there if you see, actually it looks like a matchsticks arranged. When the matchsticks grow to a 10 feet wall, and when you come down, suddenly you realize, oh God, you are in a large prison. Understanding about one element for few hours itself can give such a liberated experience. Then understand all the 5 important factors: time, element, state, awareness, and sense organs. If you understand all these 5 in a very broad way, then understand the depth of the freedom you will experience. A man who never accepts any meditation technique or any ideology related to surrendering or practice, J. Krishnamurti, even he accepts sitting with everyday sunrise and sunset. That is only ritual he promoted his whole life. During sunrise and sunset, he asks you to sit and surrender yourself to the whole. It's a very powerful technique, I tell you. Just during sunrise and sunset, sit. You will suddenly feel, God, universe is too big. Your problems are too small. The foolish few thousand, few hundred acres which you can fence it and have it as yours. And the dirty foolish things for which you are wasting your whole life is nothing but small pebbles lying around here and there. And the diamond and gold for which you sacrifice your whole life.
Now, the Hawaiians' philosophy of life is that at birth, each of us is given a bowl, and in this bowl is what they call the true light. Remembering that the Hawaiian way of speaking is to do it in metaphors, and the bowl is a metaphor for your body. The light is you. The mountain that we are all climbing is life. Now, in this concept, what we are supposed to do on this earth in this life is nurture this light that is in the bowl. In nurturing the light, you cause your light to grow, and once you have gotten your light to grow to its fullest, you will have gained all knowledge. You will be able to fly with the birds. swim with the sharks. They also say that each and every one of us is climbing the same mountain. And as we each walk our path to get to the top of the mountain, whenever you develop negative thoughts or deeds such as anger, jealousy, or hatred, or fear, you're actually stopping on your trail. You're bending down, picking up a stone, and putting it in your bowl. If you do enough stops, you end up with a bowl full of stones. And you, like your bowl, you become a stone. You will not grow or gain any more knowledge. If at any time you wish to change, they tell you that it's really very simple. All you've got to do is turn that bowl upside down, allow the stones to fall. When you right side of the bowl, the light will be there. Begin to nurture the light. As you continue on your journey to reach the top of the mountain, what you will come to realize and understand is that you do not understand the person next to you. So whenever you sit down to discuss important subjects, opinions are going to be 180 degrees from each other. And what that means is you're right, person next to you is right, everyone is right. For opinions come from the path that we walk as we try to reach the top of the mountain. And once you've reached the top of the mountain, where you're able to walk the perimeter of the mountain, looking down on each and every trail that leads up to the top of the mountain, only then and then alone will you be able to understand the person next to you as well as the rest of the people. In our Polynesian and Hawaiian traditions, as well as in the ancient temples of India, what they call Na'ako stone tablets. The stone tablets speaks of a land and a civilization called Mu, spelled M-U. The tablets say that this land of Mu was the motherland of man. And Mu is said to have been from Fiji to Easter Island, extending north beyond the Hawaiian Islands. Our tradition says that this land of Mu rose 3 times and then sank through volcanic action, and what's left is Fiji, Easter Island, Tahiti, and these islands. Today, we have a fish that we call the Mu. And if you have seen the fish called the Mu, or if you ever see the fish called the Mu, look into the mouth of the Mu. The teeth that is in the Mu will resemble human molars. The Mu is a symbol for us of the ancestors that went down with its destruction. We also have an ancient chant of Molokai that speaks of the first Polynesians that arrived here. And when they arrive here, there is a race of people living here that refer to these islands and themselves as Mu. Mu is your native Hawaiian. Now, there is a chant of Molokai that speaks of a kahuna by the name of Pa'au. Pa'au is from Tahiti, and the people of Hawaii knows he's from Tahiti because of his physical structure. He's much bigger than they are. He also wears white, and white in our culture is a sacred color. Very few people qualify to wear white, for white is the color of Akua, or your higher self. The chant says that Pa'au is here in the Hawaiian Islands, traveling from island to island, gathering information about each of the islands, information such as the most fertile soils on the island, type of crops that are grown in these soils, source of fresh water, best fishing grounds, type of fishes that are caught, safe harbors. When Pa'au has gathered up all this information about each of the islands, according to this chant, he disappears for several months. It is the island of Lanai, which is south of us, that wakes up one morning and looking south on the horizon, they see the horizon red. It is Pa'au returning to Hawaii, this time with an army from Tahiti. And they also know that Pa'au is from Tahiti because he has 2 bodyguards with him, which indicate that he's from a warrior society. The Hawaiians, they were not a religious agricultural society. They were a spiritual agricultural society. They did not worship the so-called deities that the Hawaiians speak of today. This is all brought in by Pa'au and the Tahitians. Say 1 AD to 1000 AD, and this period I'll be referring to it as Ohana. Ohana translates to mean immediate family, immediate family. First set of parents, there, children's children's children, and so on down. Within the Ohana, we have the Ohana Laha, or the extended family, or brothers and sisters to the first set of parents, their children's children's children, and so on down. And this is your true Hawaiian culture, and this is what the island of Molokai is all about. Now today, the Pacific Archaeological Society is saying that they're able to trace the Polynesians clear back to the area of Malaysia. They're saying that the Polynesians were driven out from this area by the warlike tribes of the area around 400 BC, began to explore, discover, and settle the Pacific Ocean, starting with the Southeast Asian islands, and then Micronesia, Melanesia, Polynesia. They begin to invade the islands of Lanai, Maui, and Hawaii, and the native Hawaiians on these islands, in fleeing their island, heading for the island of Kauai in safety, stops here, warns the Ohana, or the people of Molokai, as to what's happening on their island. The people of Molokai congregate on our southern coastline and wait for the Tahitians. When the Tahitian war canoes appear on the ocean approaching the island of Molokai, when these canoes are said to be close enough, the people of Molokai then begin to chant. As the canoes get closer, the chanting gets louder, when the Tahitians themselves are said to be close enough, they stand up in their canoes, they throw their spears, but all the spears fall short. When they beach the canoes, they jump out, they attack the people of Molokai, and what they find, according to the chant, is an invisible wall between them and the people of Molokai. They find themselves choking, gasping for air. They find themselves literally being picked up and flung back into the ocean. They become afraid of the island and the people of Molokai, climb back into their canoes, and continue on for the islands of Oahu and Kauai. Now the Tahitians gave this island a nickname, and this is the only island that had a nickname during that period. They nicknamed Molokai Pule O'o. Pule is a prayer or to pray. O'o is the maturing or ripening of a fruit. So Puli'o'o translates to mean ripening prayers or powerful prayers. Having conquered all the other islands so quickly and so easily, they jokingly nicknamed the native Hawaiian Manahune Hawaiian. Ali'i is the king, the queen, the monarchy, or the warrior society. And this is what all the other islands are about. There's more information about this period and the fact that America is a strong nation. It is your warrior society. But this is not Hawaiian. This is Tahitian. For the Tahitians invade Hawaii around 1250 AD, conquer all the islands except for this island. They were frightened off by the people and what we call kahunas today.
I was born in a place called the 11th Heaven. And at the 11th Heaven is where the ancestors had gone to retrieve the bowls of knowledge. And that's where I was born. A place called Pukalehua, the doorway to heaven. Also, the ancestors talked about who I am. And that where we come from is a place called Makuahau Papa Nui. And Makuahau Papa Nui is what some people in Africa know as Sirius. And therefore we are considered to be the temple builders, and we are in the process. Earlier we were speaking, we have temples for certain gods, goddesses, etc. And I'm in the process of rebuilding or building a place for fertility, peace, harmony, good health, etc. And this is to take place soon. And when this is created, as this ancestor had once told me, you have to live. The question always comes up, who are you? Who are you? When you discover who you are, the process begins.
So historiography in Hawaii. First of all, what's historiography? Very easy definition. Historiography is the process of the creation of history. It's not history, it's the process. So this is a history book. How did this person get this information? Who did they talk to? Who did they not talk to? Every history that's ever been written is exclusionary. Now that sounds awful, but it has to be. You cannot talk to everyone. If you're writing a book, a history of World War II, you're going to go talk to 20 million people? No. You're going to choose, right? And sometimes those choices are purposeful, sometimes they're just, you only have so much time. So in your history, did you talk mostly to older folks and not younger? Mostly men and not women? Mostly Native Americans and not these folks, or white folks and not these folks, and so forth? That all makes up your historiography. Okay? So historiography is that process. The process of the creation of history in Hawaii has been flawed for over 100 years. I call it the 6%. Approximately 95% of the published materials about Hawaii and Hawaiians comes from English language sources. 95%. That's a low estimate, I bet. If you go into the library and you pull up histories of Hawaii, and you have 100 books, at least 95 of those are going to be sourced only from English language sources. Now, does that mean it's all lies? No. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying you've got one part of the story. Hawaiians wrote prolifically, yeah? 100,000 pages of Hawaiian language newspapers, tens of thousands of government documents in Hawaiian, correspondences, legal documents, everything. But we haven't read those. So we've gotten the story from the ship captains, the missionary sons, and so forth. Again, not that that's wrong, but it's a tiny view. It's as if we saw a murder and there were 10 witnesses, and we went and took one person and pulled him aside and took the story and then wrote the report. There's 9 other witnesses, right? Hawaiians witnessed and took part in Hawaiian history, and they wrote about it. But we haven't listened to them yet until recently. So that's been one of our big problems. The 6% comes from Helen Chapin, who wrote quite a bit about Hawaiian newspapers and so forth, and she wrote that about 6% of the population was English-speaking at the time, or only English-speaking at the time of the overthrow. So you're talking about 94% of the voice that's elided.
Yahweh means you. It's always meant you.
Interesting.
Yeah, you've got to have the faith and belief. And everybody has a different knowledge of faith and belief. So everybody has a different God. Because that's what a faith and belief establishes, is the God. For your grounds of dominion. Okay? There is 2 different sets of codes here. Okay? We're not really operating by codes. We're operating by real law. Okay? Anybody but, like, all these people that are on the Skype group and everything else that keep wanting to use the UC or the USC codes and the state codes and everything else, they're wrong. Okay? You're going to get bits and pieces. You're working in their world now. Okay? You want to stand over them. And the only way you can stand over them is to use the UCC, which is basically copyrighted out of the Church of Rome, and that goes back to the Roman law system that is superior to all of these constitutional state national governments. Okay? These national governments are just chartered. Okay? They're chartered by the people. But the UCC is superior to all of those charters. Mm-hmm. That's what I get upset about on Skype and everything else, about people wanting to constantly use the damn USC codes or Code of Federal Regulations or anything like that. They're not ours. And that UCC is not a federal copyrighted instrument. So I don't know whether it's Chris or Gavin or whoever basically put that bullshit out, but that's total bullshit. They don't understand the whole process. I've tried to break this thing down. I posted 2 paragraphs up there this morning on Skype about going in here We are a Christian. This is supposed to be under the Roman Christian Empire right now. To be a Christian, you have to be baptized. To be baptized, you are supposed to be given the item to forgive all of your original sins or original debts. The means to forgive them. That means you give a letter of credit. And then your credits are supposed to be honored out here, but they do not honor them right away. They put them into a holding pattern as a fraudulent assignee. Okay, you're the assignor. You assign the credits, but you assign them to another fictional person in your name. Now you've got to release those credits over to them to set off the bill. That's all there is to it. Stop arguing. Stop fighting all this bullshit. All these people that want to go out here and use a frat or whatever and claim the remedy's there, and the only other word the guy knows is fuck. Come on, people, wake up. That guy don't know what the hell he's talking about. I won't mention any names on that one. But it was on a talk show here this last week. And then all these other talk shows out here that completely, continuously go off in a wrong direction. When I've tried to put the information out here, I'm not apologizing for anything I do anymore. I don't have to kiss anybody's ass anymore. Okay? I sent a letter in to the Kansas City Financial Center with my DD-214. I told people that basically these things might take up to 30 days in the process. Well, basically that one that I sent into Kansas City ended up going to Philadelphia. Okay? Because that's really where the DD-214, because you're coming in under your selected service number, which is an 11-digit number, and basically when you get it down and deposited down at your county or your county recorder's office, it now becomes a land record. Just like your baptismal or your birth certificate is a land record. Okay? So you have to go to the de jure place to where the vessels were basically built. Philadelphia Shipyard. Treasury Shipyard. There is no shipyard in Kansas City, but yet it's still a port of entry in the process. It's the western port of entry for the Treasury system. The Department of the Treasury is the de jure treasury of the country. It was set up by Alexander Hamilton, a traitor to this country. It was for the corporations, to allow the corporations to have a banking system. Congress did not fulfill their obligation and put a monetary system in place for the people. That's the problem. So they set up this de facto Department of the Treasury. Now, this place in Kansas City and the one in Philadelphia, these are under a bureau. A bureau is tied to the de jure, the Treasury Department. And the FBI is set up as a federal bureau of investigation. Their prime investigation they do is for banking. But they are a bureau, and they are a bureau under the Justice Department, not the Department of Justice, which is the de facto agency out here. The little letter that came back with my statement from them, okay, and it came back from Philadelphia. But it came back from the Social Security office in Philadelphia because it had to be processed through that side. It came from the Social Security Administration, Mid-Atlantic Social Security Center, 300 Spring Garden Street, Philadelphia, PA. They said, to process your report, we need the Social Security number on which you receive benefits, the Social Security number plus letter on previous letters you received from us. Please show the full 9-digit Social Security number in the box below and return this form with the enclosed correspondent. We can also process an address change by phone. Please call us at this number. If you call, you do not need to return this form. Thank you. And then it has one blank there for Social Security number plus letter after the number. And then the next one they have in yellow, that one's circled and basically got an X saying that they definitely need that. And then they have another one, your Social Security claim number, if different from above. That's all I need to send back to them and have this processed. But you're not going to find this information out unless you get off your asses and get this shit out in the mail and know what the hell you're talking about and stay the hell away from all their fraudulent codes because that will put you right back in under their system. You have to know that basically this, what I put up there on the Skype group, okay, and I don't know whether Tom posted it onto the other sites or not.
I have it as a document. I have it as a document, but I will post it.
Okay. We're coming in under the 14th Amendment also, okay? All of these fraudulent de facto government organizations and even the state organizations, they are operating in violation of Section 3 of the 14th Amendment. Can the FBI arrest a sheriff?
Yeah.
You're damn well they can, because basically if the sheriff is out there operating in a banking scenario, they can arrest him. What did they go after Al Capone for? It wasn't for running alcohol or any of that other shit. It was for banking violations. What are half the people in jail for? For basically putting fraudulent banking instruments into circulation. Trying to write bonds and different things. Trying to operate in their system when they shouldn't have been operating in their system. You've issued letters of credit by your signature and your signature alone. All you have to do now is release the credits because they're being held in a fraudulent assignment account. They did not want to take the credits directly from you and set off the bill because they would not make a profit off of it if they did that. You have to know where the fraud is. You have to be able to prove the fraud. And then you have to go to the right people claiming the fraud. Okay? You don't go to the state courts and try and get protection from them because they're involved in the damn fraud anyway. You got to go to the FBI, the federal banking investigators, or to the attorney generals, or to the inspector generals, banking inspector generals that are operating out of the bureaus, not out of the departments of things. Department of anything out here, state of. Those are derivatives of the original. They're the fraud. I've tried to have my door open to all these so-called gurus out here that are out here charging money to try and think that they're helping people, and they're just fleecing you just as much as anybody else. Okay? They're frauds. And they will get you into a scenario of you're either going to lose the thing, like a lot of people have lost their mortgages, cases that they went in and tried to argue these items that these people are putting out. But when you go in and you release the credits, you can get this all back. You can turn around and put in that document. Read Section 8 of the UCC system out there. Your remedies are right there if they've taken your house from you. Section 109 talks about fraud itself. We don't have to do a UCC 1 or UCC 3 or any of that. Those items are strictly for the corporations because they have to give themselves form. We have form. We have substance. We know where the fuck we stand. They don't know where they stand. They stand anywhere they want to because they're just a spiritual or a fictional person. That's why you can never tie them down. You got to get one of those Ghostbuster guns and zap them. I could care less whether anybody continues to listen to me or not. It's your choice. You have the free will to do what you want to. I only tried to put the word out the way I saw it and the way I totally believe and have faith in the system out here. We were told to have faith and belief. But most people don't have faith in anything out here, and they don't have belief in anything, and they can't read anything either. And then they don't want to help their neighbor one bit. They sit there like bumps on the wall, closed mouth. Well, I'm going to wait until somebody comes out and actually proves some of this stuff to me. Well, that's total bullshit. Until you people really wake up and basically, I don't know anything about that damn Judge Ninu or whatever the hell he is operating out of Hong Kong. He's a total fraud. I've said this for years. I told Tim Turner this, that basically if anybody out there is charging for a seminar or charging in that regards for something, and then also if the other party is trying to demand a copy of your birth certificate or some instrument in that regards, stay the hell away from them. They know what the hell all they need is several numbers, and they can go in and pilfer your accounts. And you'll never be the wiser. All thinking that you're going to get a quick settlement in the process. There can't be anything quicker than you going in and releasing the credits. And then you've got the real law standing on your side in the process. the 14th Amendment and the UCC, which is a total, that whole UCC is over Europe, it's over every state in this country. It wasn't written up by the federal government of this country, it was written up out of Rome. And then your baptismal certificate proves that you are a Roman citizen under Roman Christian law. I don't know how more powerful you can get than that. And then these courts will shut down, because when you understand that you can take and put these judges in jail for 5 years just under Section 3, and then also under Section 4 of the 14th Amendment, and like my UCC FBI warning statement there, 5 years in prison or $250,000 fine. That's on the government side. Your side, for harm caused by them, is $250,000 a day. You people have to stop becoming chicken shits out here and get off your duffs and do something. And when you hear these talk shoes, these other people that are putting out this bump information, open your damn mouth and tell them they're full of bullshit. Okay, I'm done ranting and raving. It's up to you guys now to start opening up your mouth if you want to. Otherwise, this may be the... You are not to pay anything out of your back pocket. Your back pocket is for your estate. That's your property. But if you do pay out of your back pocket, you're going to turn in and take your receipts in and get the credits back, because there's 2 credits sitting there. One that you paid out of your back pocket, and then the other one that they borrowed against our accounts out here to fund the corporations to build the damn thing. That was the problem with all these patriot gurus and everything out here. They never understood the monetary system. And anybody that claims to be a judge, even that one up in Alaska, that female up there, or that Judge Naidu over there in Hong Kong, you never trust anybody that claims the title of judge or has ever had a bar card. They're born liars. They're barred from telling the truth, period. Just like that fraud, that 3-letter word or 3-word name guy that claims to be have an IQ of 200 and some. He's a 200 and dot zip dick shit, in my opinion. David Wynn Miller, trying to use fraudulent word usage into a damn court system, because he's working with the damn bar attorneys throwing this shit out. He's got everything that he's done copyrighted. Right there, you know that something's definitely wrong with that guy. Anybody that copyrights their shit and doesn't put it out freely, they're a total fraud. Information is free. You people are the ones that have to understand this, and then you have to start standing up to some of these other people out here that are putting all this bum shit out. I've tried to do it, but basically they ain't going to hear me anymore. Not one of them has made a call to me. And I've had basically my phone number out there for 5, 6 years now. I've had an open invitation to them over that time frame. But when they hear what I have to say, they don't want to have anything more to do with me because I'm going to be taking money out of their back pocket. Because they're out there to screw you people. Okay. I'll wind down here a little. You guys open up.
He says, I got two more questions. He says, who is God? He says, well, that's probably the easiest question I've been asked since I started this. Now, remember I said at the beginning of this seminar, what is a thought? Hold a thought in your hand. A thought is not of this world. Okay, everyone in this room studies this word God. Matter of fact, we have 5,000 different sounds of words for the word God. It's a very unique word. Now, you also, when you study God, you also study the devil, what evil is. So you have to, it's called perspective. You have to know what's good and you have to know what's bad. So you have an understanding of what choice is. Now, because you have choice, you can choose to be a good person or a bad person. Now, everyone in this room, you will read different books at different ages, at different times. You will talk to different people, your brothers, your sisters, your parents, your ministers at the school, at the church, teachers, and all through life you accumulate information. The end result is we all have 1,000 separate definitions that we have accumulated to answer one word. So, and that word, God, because you all have 1,000 different sources of research to answer that one word, now says that God has created man's image. Image, imagination, creation, art. So each one of you formulates your own definition based on your own subjective interpretation of your own educational capacity, your own IQ. IQ is based on the amount of percentage of your brain activity that you use for thinking. To come to a conclusion, to stand in front of a mirror, look at yourself and say, I know who God is, based on these definitions. And no one, I don't care who you are, can tell you who your God is because they weren't there for your 1,000 points of study. And everyone in this room has a different 1,000 points of study and answer the same word. And you also have 1,000 points of study to answer the bad things. What is evil? What is wrong? What is a lie? It's called perspective. So we all choose to be good. We all choose to be correct. And we all choose to stand in front of a mirror and look at yourself and say, I know who God is. And I believe in that person. Or I believe in that entity. And that's the definition of who God was. And everyone in the audience applauded. Because who is it? It's your own subjective interpretation of what you understand that word to mean, based on your ability to look yourself in the eye and say, I accept this to be the fact. And that's as simple as it gets. He says, okay, he says we all agree that that's the definition. He's got one more word for you. What do you know about women? And I says, absolutely nothing. He says, see, you can't answer every question. And 38 women stood up and said, that's the right answer. And all the and all the men in the audience applauded. Number 6 is, with the correct sentence structure, communication, parse, syntax, grammar. Okay, what does that mean? Well, there's a thing, you hear the word right, you hear the word truth. Truth is an opinion, by the way. Everybody believes in God, that's your truth, but that truth is based on your opinion of subjective interpretation, so therefore truth is an opinion. And O means no, and PIN means to attach, and ION is contract. So you have no attached contract because your subjective interpretation of your ability to communicate with any other individual is based on that other person's ability to understand what you're saying in the first place, which is babble, because it's all adverb-verb scenario. Now, I may be talking to you in adverb-verb because that's the only language you understand. If I stood up here and talked to you and for this knowledge of this individual is with the claim of the correct parse syntax grammar, start using prepositional phrases, this would not jar well with your perception. And you'd kind of get lost. So it takes about 200 hours to adapt to this technology. And you will get a migraine headache because you're all brainwashed not to see an article. You might think that's a joke. It's not. Sublimic messaging through TV, radio, newspapers and magazines, school books have been there your whole life, right in front of you. We hide it in plain view, just like we hide a flag in plain view, and we cancel this contract by putting a Coke can on top of the staff, which is a phoenix in this case. If the wingtips are down, it's a phoenix. If they're up, it's an eagle, which is postal. So you can either be under postal guise or you can be under the Vatican guise. Either way, you're under somebody's guise, G-U-I-S-E. It's not a disguise, it's a guise, G-U-I-S-E. Dis meaning no, guys. Dis means no, by the way.
Swamiji once said, a couple of years ago in a satsang, he said, Sanatana Hindu Dharma is not, either it's not a religion at all, or it's 3 or 4 million different religions. So we in the West like to be able to pigeonhole and conveniently categorize, and that's a function of ego. For me, Hinduism, or Sanatana Hindu Dharma, is the essence of Hinduism, is the realization and the experience that you and I and all are oneness. Not just knowing that intellectually, but experiencing that all are oneness.
Welcome you all with my love and respects. Before entering into the sutras, I want all of you to just sit for a few seconds. Sit straight and just prepare yourself. Because this understanding about which I am going to talk gave me the courage to leave the home. Today's subject is Maya. Actually, many times, the young age I used to think I should leave the home, go around, live a sannyas life. Suddenly, one day, when I was reading one of the Shankara's work on this Maya, somehow the concept clicked. The word Maya cannot be translated into English. Thinking the lesser reality as the higher reality is what we call Maya. What you are seeing, you can't say this is illusion. No, this is not ultimate. Your understanding this is ultimate is illusion. The moment the click happened, I was ready not only to leave the house, decided to live like a Shankara. In the Vedic tradition, anybody wants to become enlightened has to leave their home. They have to become homeless. It is a basic condition for enlightenment. You can't be in your hometown. You have to start wandering, studying, because to enter into the ultimate truth, you need to have the courage to go behind wherever it leads. There is a beautiful sutra in Brahma Sutra, the first sutra of Brahma Sutra. It says, Atato Brahma Jignasa let us inquire into the reality. It says, only a courageous person who is ready to go behind wherever truth leads can enter into this science. In those days, we had a beautiful system. When somebody becomes enlightened, he will go around and sit with all other scholars, pandits, learned people, and he will open up his understanding. The other person will open up his understanding. Whoever can take the other person to the deeper level of understanding will follow him. That's all. That is why exploring the truth into the deeper and deeper level has been made as a compulsory basic value for anybody who wants to explore the reality, explore into the truth. What we need to understand from this story, courage to go behind the truth, wherever it leads. Even they are ready to gamble with their life, but they are ready for truth. If you accept or start working on the reality, whatever you see can be Maya. It feels as if the ground on which you are standing is opening or giving way, is taken away. It needs courage. It may suddenly open a new door to you. You must be able to go into the door, only then you can see the next door. Because I am trying to reproduce the same understanding and experience which happened in me. Understand? When I understood that Maya, the concept of Maya, it gave me so much of joy and courage to do anything. I decided I will live like a Shankara. There is every possibility you will catch the glimpse. I am not telling you will run away from a home. You will have the same energy and excitement and liberation when you realize this truth. If this one concept Maya is understood logically by you, no suffering can make low curve in you. Nobody can exploit you easily. If you can just open that courage, this understanding can open new doors for you. If you understand this clearly, you will have the courage. If you have little courage, you will have understanding. It's like a circle. Who will start first?
I represent Kailasa Nation, led by Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Sri Nityananda Paramashivan, which speaks on behalf of 2 billion Hindus around the world who do not have a voice representing them in these international forums.
Alright, I'll start from my side first. I'll give the understanding. Let you add courage to it. Let's enter into the sutra. Illusions deceive, colors circumscribe, even divisibles are indivisible. Look becomes Shiva.
Pushpam nanavidam tata amayadyair bhava pushpai archayet bhava kocharam. Now we are going to offer different pushpas, different flowers to the Master. First flower is Amayam. Let me read the whole sutra, then you will be able to understand. Amayam anahankaram aragam amadam tata amoghagam adambam cha
Advesha, Akshauba, Kaudatam, Amatsaryam, Alobam cha, Dasapushpam, Vidurbuta. If you see, if you count, it will be 10 pushpas. First flower is Amayam. Maya means illusion. Amayam means your being which is not in illusion. If you are in illusion, you cannot do Guru Puja. Illusion means agitated mood, irritated mood. Why will you get irritated? Only if you are in illusion. Amayam means living completely with the reality. Living with what is. This one word Maya created enough of confusion in the Vedantic philosophy. Still we don't have exact translation of Maya. I can say millions and millions of Vedantic books are written on this one concept Maya. And they fight over the meaning of the Maya. The exact meaning of Maya is Ya Ma Cha Iti Maya, which is not there but which threatens as if it is there. That is Maya. Which is not there but which threatens as if it is there is Maya. A small example, in Sanskrit we call Rajju Sarpa Nyaya. Rajju Sarpa Nyaya means the snake and the rope. The night time, if you walk in your garden or in your farm, a small rope is lying there. And that time only there will be small breeze and one corner of the rope will move. First thought, what will happen? It will not be just a thought. The whole Swadhisthana will shake. If you are little courageous, you will rush to bathroom. Or if you are not that courageous, bathroom will rush to you. The whole Swadhisthana will be churned for 1 second. After a few minutes, if you look a little deep, if you look, you will understand, just a rope. Then, even then you will not touch. You will have a stick or something and touch with that and move it, you will walk. Why it appeared like a snake, then why suddenly it became again rope? Your fear engrams made that rope appear like a snake. When that fear settled down, again it became rope. The rope became snake just by your fear. When that fear came down, when that fear emotions got released, the rope became again rope. Fear engram and lust engram has got power to give life to the outer world memory. Understand? I am touching an important subject now. Fear engram and lust engram has got power to give life to the outer world memories and thoughts. If your fear engram is given life, it is called Maya. If your lust engram is given power, it is called Raga. When we touch the Raga, I will talk on this. How the lust engrams becomes very powerful. Amayam, not being in illusion, is one of the important flower. You can't be in Maya. You can't be in illusion. if you want to do Guru Puja. You don't even have to think this is a big goal. Morning when you start doing Guru Puja, decide, I will be in the non-illusion way of living. You don't even have a complete translation of the word Amaya. How will you translate? Because Maya means illusion. Even illusion word is not a complete translation of word Maya. You can only understand it as a concept. Just decide, I will be in Amaya state. A simple conscious decision is enough. I will be in Amaya state.
Simply, universe has no choice other than following me. I know for what I have come, and universe has no choice. Simply it has to follow me. If it wants the breakthrough, if it wants to exist, and universe by its nature wants to have continuous breakthroughs. Expansion is universe. Understand? Expansion is universe.
Empower with independence. Independent of self is true mother worship. Let's redefine slavery. If you have to pay rent or a mortgage, those are slavery constructs built in. Aloha Nityanandam. Is it intelligent to go into college debt slavery to pledge allegiance to the bar, British accredited Regency, British, which is conflict of interest to practice American law in America and American law in Hawaii Kingdom during occupation when the laws of war apply, and recognized by the UN and the state of Hawaii when the state prosecutor submitted the official UN docs in case number 3DCC-19-00000278. History is not past as it may seem. The Boston Tea Party is still raging on. I have been living food donation only, not for trade. Empowered to do so due to my family's sacrifices and blessing me what they can so I can do investigative mediation work and extensive research. Being 100% Pono by not participating in American infrastructural vehicles of invasion such as 501c3s and banking, walking exclusively on the spiritual side. Now that I feel I am ready to take things to the next level legally, which requires unprecedented support, please consider being a flash mob gift giver, blessing me each step of the way, joining the Hukilau Legal Luau. Thank you. Aloha. Imua.
Testimony. I have those testifying for agenda item number 1. We have Maluhia Mauna. If you'd like to please come up, please. Oh, okay. Yeah, and then could I also ask Wanda Leopoldino? Okay. Just to be clear, if you could press the button that has a little face on it, that'll turn on your mic, and then your mic will turn red. So if you please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth on this matter now before the Windward Planning Commission? Oh, you got to keep the mics on. The little face there.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I do.
Thank you.
Yes.
Starting with Miss Mauna, if you could please.
She needs to go for a medical issue, so
okay.
I would like to give hers first.
Okay. So we'll go with Miss Leopoldino. Miss Mauna. Okay. Okay. Is this better? Okay. I will speak loud. Okay. So testifiers, if you could speak directly into the mic, it helps as well. So if you could please press the button in front to turn on your mic, Miss Mauna.
Yes.
Okay. If you could please state your name and where you reside, you have 3 minutes.
Maluhia Mana and Lani Kaula. Thank you for your time. I will take a moment of prayer for oneness with all who you call upon as God. Thank you. As a divine woman, mother, and diplomat doing investigative mediation, Uttamottama Seva to ancestors, family, humanity, Guru, Shishesha Parampara, Cosmos, Paramashiva, God, this Shivaratri, I do not understand, I do not accept, I do not consent, I do not acquiesce to contract offers and rebut all assumptions and presumptions of joinder. This is for agenda 1, 2, and 3. Broken treaties are broken contracts. Force majeure is a legal remedy for this extended legal misunderstanding, making all contracts null and void since January 17th, 1893. In court, force majeure is very successful. Most here are not at court witnessing land reclamation processes correcting defective title. There should be a military Navy JAG officer here present today, actually and factually, fully to protect those who identify as U.S. citizens and American nationals, and the U.S. to activate martial law to reflect Hawaii Kingdom, who has been since day one in honorable conduct in their Article 37 of the Hawaiian Constitution with additional direct order not to pick up arms. President Cleveland restored Hawaii Kingdom to Queen Liliuokalani in December of 1893, mutually acknowledged U.S. is choosing to remain in executing subjugation strategies, executing slow genocide methods through agents which include this board. The state of Hawaii has a Duns and Bradstreet number corporation operating. The front door of the police commission, which I went there and took a photo just to make sure that it's still up to date, clearly state it operates under the color of authority, assumptions, presumptions, acting, which is not law. I recommend cease and desist because war crimes in a legally declared war zone recognized by the UN in official documents proceedings is war crimes. All birth certificates do not and did not have licensed security and exchange and insurance officers, no full disclosure or prospectus given, making it fraudulent contract, fraudulently acquired by mothers under duress and medications in major medical emergency procedures. In regards to Agenda 1, if going forward, I still am saying first force majeure, but state of Hawaii continues doing what they're doing. Rezoning residential to industrial is letting wolves in the hen house. Spot zoning is illegal. When permitted use permits more than accomplishes property owners wanting to do. I found this out at the meeting with Susan Leloy on February 28, 11 a.m., which is recorded. With modern technology empowers all work from home and family business without financial freedom, there's no personal liberty. So zoning changes to residential is not necessary, especially with housing shortages. Continuing this de facto operation is documented war crimes. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. I have Maluhia Mauna. Yeah, you're signed up for number 2, which is the AT&T mobility. Yes, on this this agenda item. So if you could please, do I have to swear her in again? Yeah, you're not sworn in, so you can just start your testimony, 3 minutes.
Okay.
But please state your name again for the record.
Maluhia Mauna, thank you for your time. I'll take a moment of prayer for oneness with who you call upon as God. Thank you. As a divine woman, mother, and diplomat doing investigative mediation, Uttamantapa Seva to ancestors, family, humanity, Guru, Shishesha Parampara, Cosmos, Paramashiva, God, this Shivaratri, I do not understand.
Having a technical difficulty. Our mics do not work right now, so the planning commission is going to be in recess for now. We'll figure out what's going on. Oh, can you try yours?
Hello?
Okay. Okay, there's just a slight, I guess, electrical issue, glitch. Okay.
Okay.
We're back in session. Thank you. Please go ahead, Ms. Mana.
I do not understand. I do not accept. I do not consent. I do not acquiescence to contract offers and rebut all assumptions and presumptions of joinder. This is for all agendas, including agenda number 2. Broken treaties are broken contracts. Force majeure is a legal remedy for this extended legal misunderstanding, making all contracts null and void since January 17, 1893. In court, force majeure is very successful. Most here are not at court witnessing land reclamation processes, correcting defective title. There should be a Navy military JAG officer present today, actually and factually, fully to protect those who identify as U.S. citizens and American nationals, and the U.S. to activate martial law to reflect Hawaii Kingdom, who has been since day one in honorable conduct in their Article 37 of the Hawaiian Constitution with additional direct order not to pick up arms. President Cleveland restored Hawaii Kingdom to Queen Liliuokalani in December 1893, mutually acknowledged. U.S. is choosing to remain in executing subjugation strategies, executing slow genocide methods through agents, which include this board. State of Hawaii has a Duns and Bradstreet number corporation operating. The front door of the police commission clearly states today as well that it operates under the color of authority, which is assumptions, presumptions, acting, which is not law. I recommend cease and desist because war crimes is in a legally declared war zone recognized by the UN in official documents. Proceeding is war crimes. All birth certificates do not and did not have a licensed Securities and Exchange and Insurance Officer. No full disclosure or prospectus given, making it fraudulent contract, fraudulently acquired by mothers under duress and medicated in a major medical emergency procedure. Continuing this de facto operation is documented war crimes. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. Have is Maluhia Mauna and Laura Wong. Ms. Mauna, you've already been sworn in, so I won't swear you in, but Ms. Wong, I'll have to swear you in. So if you could please raise your right hand.
Is this on?
Yeah. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth on this matter, not before the Windward Planning Commission?
I do.
Okay. If you could please state your name and where you reside. You have 3 minutes. Whoever wants to start.
Thank you for your time. I'll take a moment of prayer for oneness with who you call upon as God. Thank you. As a divine woman, mother, and diplomat doing investigative mediation, Uttamottama Seva to ancestors, family, humanity, Guru Shishesha Parampara, Cosmos, Paramashiva, God, this Shivaratri. I do not understand, I do not consent, I do not accept, I do not acquiescence to contract offers and rebut all assumptions and presumptions of joinder. Is it intelligent to go into college debt slavery, to pledge allegiance to the bar, British accredited regency, British, which is conflict of interest to practice American law in America and American law in Hawaii Kingdom during occupation when laws of war apply? Legit question. History is not past as it seems. Boston Tea Party still raging on. Broken treaties are broken contracts. Force majeure is legal remedy for this extended legal misunderstanding, making all contracts null and void since January 17, 1893. In court, force majeure is very successful. Most here are not at court witnessing land reclamation processes correcting defective title. There should be a Navy military JAG officer present today, actually and factually fully to protect those who identify as U.S. citizens and American nationals, and the U.S. to activate martial law to reflect Hawaii Kingdom, who has been since day one in honorable conduct in its Article 37 of the Hawaiian Constitution, which with additional direct order not to pick up arms. President Cleveland restored Hawaii Kingdom to Queen Liliuokalani in December 1893, mutually acknowledged. U.S. is choosing to remain in executing subjugation strategies, which is executing slow genocide methods through agents, which include this board. State of Hawaii has a Duns and Bradstreet number corporation operating the front door of the police commission, clearly state it operates under the color of authority, which is assumptions, presumptions, acting, which is not law. I recommend cease and desist because war crimes is a legally declared war zone recognized by the UN in official documents proceeding as war crimes. All birth certificates do not and did not have a licensed Securities and Exchange and Insurance Officer, no full disclosure or prospectus given, making it fraudulent. Fraudulently acquired by mothers under duress and medication in a major medical emergency procedure. Continuing this de facto operation is documented war crimes. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony.
Aloha, Nityanandam. Is it intelligent to go into college debt slavery to pledge allegiance to the bar, British accredited regency, British, which is conflict of interest to practice American law in America and American law in Hawaii Kingdom during occupation when the laws of war apply, and recognized by the UN and the state of Hawaii when the state prosecutor submitted the official UN docs in case number 3DCC-19-00000278. History is not past as it may seem. The Boston Tea Party still raging on. I have been living food donation only, not for trade. Empowered to do so due to my family's sacrifices and blessing me what they can so I can do investigative mediation work and extensive research. Being 100% Pono by not participating in American infrastructural vehicles of invasion such as 501c3s and banking, walking exclusively on the spiritual side. Now that I feel I am ready to take things to the next level legally, which requires unprecedented support, please consider being a flash mob gift giver, blessing me each step of the way, joining the Hukilau Legal Luau. Thank you. Aloha. Imua.
Anyone who wants to be world leader, the first quality, stop taking sides. Second quality, stop declaring anyone as your enemy openly or inside strategically. Third quality, don't be neutral, means non-involved. No, a world leader should not be neutral and non-involved. Fourth important quality, we need world to exist till human beings discover the great truths revealed in Veda-agamas and find a way to travel up and down to vertical time zones, other worlds. We should learn to get involved with only focus of conflict resolution.
Join Paramashiva Ham and manifest leadership consciousness.
For some time, many of us have wondered just who is jack shit. We find ourselves at a loss when someone says, "You don't know jack shit." Well, thanks to my genealogy efforts, you can now respond in an intellectual way. Jack Shit is the only son of Aw Shit. Aw Shit, the fertilizer magnate, married Oh Shit, the owner of Knee Deep in Shit. They had one son, Jack. In turn, Jack Shit married No Shit. The deeply religious couple produced 6 children: Holy Shit, Giva Shit, Full of Shit, Bullshit, and the twins, Deep Shit and Dip Shit. Against her parents' objections, Deep Shit married Dumb Shit, a high school dropout. After being married 15 years, Jack and No Shit divorced. No Shit later married Ted Sherlock. She wanted to keep her previous name. She was then known as No Shit Sherlock. Meanwhile, Dip Shit married Loda Shit, and they produced a son with a rather nervous disposition named Chicken Shit. Bullshit, the prodigal son, left home to tour the world. He recently returned from Italy with his new Italian bride, Pizza Shit. Now when someone says, "You don't know jack shit," you can correct them.
Same action by different people will have different karmic effect. Yes, it's reality. Because The action is not responsible for the karma. It is the thought current behind the action is responsible for karma. Understand cosmos as continuous audio recording but not video recording. This statement, this truth will clear tons of your questions about karma. In video recording, visuals are always new. In audio recording, it is always a single flow. Please understand. If your mind is audio recorded, don't ever think it will be a long hours together material. No, it will not be more than 5 statements, 24 hours. The same 5 statements is getting repeated in the old stupid gramophone record in different ways of getting stuck. Just this one statement, I ate and like kaka biryani. I ate and like biryani. Maybe next time, I ate and like kaka biryani. Maybe the third time, I ate and like kaka biryani. I ate and like kaka biryani. If something logically suits you so much, you understand it so much, you just know the solution is around the corner. But again and again, you are back to square one, stuck. Means it may be a very good brain candy, but not completion. You are having only kakka biryani. I'll popularize this word. If you don't understand the word kakka biryani, means biryani of crow. Crow biryani. Understand? Don't be fooled. Don't be cheated. Just because it logically entertains you, convinces you, you cherish it, you enjoy it, you heard from a person whom you love, somebody charismatic, or read from a book, very trustworthy, highly sold, bestseller. Is bestseller. That doesn't mean best. Understand? Best selling is different from being best. I'm not saying these two does not meet each other. I'm only warning you, just because one, don't expect the other one also. Just because something is best selling, don't expect it is best. Listen. You might have read from a bestseller the thoughts, thought trend, and cherishing, highly entertaining. Please listen. Please listen. If that thought current is not giving you breakthrough, if it is not giving you constant breakthrough, it's only karma. Please understand, including my teachings. Only if it gives you breakthrough, it is completion. Decide to throw the net out completely, not part by part. Today morning, when you wake up, if you are feeling tired, bored, and having slight stomach pain, not only question your ideas about health, question the very idea about the world, life, God. If you have a tooth pain and you want to get rid of it, you are not able to, question the very idea of God, very idea of world, very idea of you have. Don't just question the toothpaste you are using. Don't just question the brand of the medicine you are applying on your teeth. Understand? A thought current which can solve your problems partly, thought current which can cause your reality partly, is also karma, good karma. That's all, but karma. The thought pattern which does not cause any of your reality is karma. The thought pattern which makes you more and more suffocating day by day is bad karma. The thought pattern which causes some part of your reality is good karma. The thought pattern, thought trend which causes all the things you want as reality is completion. Karma is the thought current in which you are stuck. Future wars will not have winners because we have used education, knowledge to the extreme of violence. We have accumulated enough weapons to demolish not just all the buildings but destroy the very planet Earth itself for more than 800 times. Understand? 800 times we can blow the planet Earth. So much of weapons are accumulated. Nowadays, countries don't talk about chemical weapons where human beings will be eradicated. Just blowing up the planet Earth. That's the latest trend. Understand, when knowledge, education is used for violence, nothing will be left out. Vedic tradition is very clear. The thought called knowledge should always start with peace and end with peace.
Peace starts with you. Lead the way. Join Paramashiva levels 1, 2, and 3.
Do you know the population of Sri Lanka during Ravana's time? 7 crore. 7 crore people Please understand, those days you can choose your country. All the 54 desas are open. There was no visa system. You can choose the country you want to live in. Because we believed in guest is God. We believed in principle of guest is God. A Kalinga can come and settle down in Chola. A Chola Desi can go and settle in Sri Lanka. So 7 crore people felt Ravana's kingdom is the most safest place to live, happiest place to live. You cannot tell Ravana is villain by himself. No, just a miss. Otherwise 7 crore, half must be women. 3.5 crore felt very safe in his kingdom. In a way, little more than Ayodhya. The population was more than Ayodhya. Of course, Ayodhya had a less population because Rama was out. The story says once Rama left Ayodhya, a lot of people moved out of Ayodhya to different desas. When Rama came back, many of them have come back. Only feminine energy can be given the word sacred. Have you ever heard sacred masculine? Only feminine energy can be given the title sacred, because when it is awakened, it does so much in your system. And it has nothing to do with your gender. That's the important thing. The gender, male or being female, nothing to do with it. Something to do with your inner quality. All the sacred things are looked as feminine in Vedic tradition. Whether it is sacred rivers or anything sacred is always looked as feminine. Ramakrishna again and again says the key to the Brahman, the enlightenment, is in the hands of Devi. Only if she opens the key, you can experience. Again says, the Kundalini in you, the Kula Kundalini in you is Devi. Only if she awakens in you, you will experience the highest consciousness. All religions has 2 parts. One, the spiritual fruit, and religious nut. The religious nut part is always in the masculine power, and it is masculine based. But the spiritual fruit part is always with the feminine worship, Devi worship. All spiritual groups, civilizations, has this mother worship, and that contribution, that mother worship, that very concept, that very truth is from Vedic civilization, Vedic tradition. I bless you all. Is there an answer to chicken and the egg question? Understand, egg is first. Egg never came from chicken, it came from hen. I answered.
Family comes first. Family is sort of like the chicken and the egg. Which came first, the egg or the chicken? The chicken. The family. Then the egg, the little sibling. It also goes into the parable in the Bible about you sit at the end of the table and you get called up when you're recognized. So last becomes first. First becomes last.
goody, another object lesson. Okay, so in our culture, inequality is the architecture and language is the blueprint. By examining the language we use, we can see why our culture is constructed the way that it is. This commenter writes, so what I'm hearing is that it's okay to let my 14-year-old daughter shake her ass for a bunch of grown men on TikTok. Even though the premise of this sentence is supposed to be a father taking care of his child, the syntax, the language choice, and the wording of the sentence reveals some deeply held cultural attitudes around women and girls. Let's let that sentence do a different kind of work and see how it goes. It's not okay to let my buddy watch a bunch of 14, 15-year-old girls dance on TikTok. See what we did there? By changing the wording, we changed the direction of the behavior and responsibility for behavior. He's the creep for watching the videos. She's dancing, not shaking her ass for a bunch of grown men. A phrase that, as written, both sexualizes her behavior and implies some sort of responsibility, intentionality, and it's all very adjacent to she gets what she deserves from those grown men because she was shaking her ass for them. See the difference? If we just say dancing or swaying, we're characterizing the behavior with our language. So what if we used our language in a different way? Could we use a different blueprint to create different architecture? Well, yes, we could. Well, I don't have any control over my buddy. I don't let him do anything. My buddy does what he wants to do. Besides, there are just all of these nameless, faceless masses of men out there on TikTok waiting to watch these videos. Can't control them. Do you have more control over your daughter than other men out there in your life or in the world? Or is it just the illusion of control? If you asked my mother how much control she had over my television viewing habits when I was a kid, she would say a lot. Except Mom didn't know that the VCR could record things when the TV was off, so I watched whatever the fuck I want, and she never knew about it till I was an adult. And anyway, would you rather control your daughter, or would you rather exercise some control over all the men out there who would sexualize and even harm her? Because if every time a man in your life or around you or on the internet or in the workplace or anywhere else that you went said something creepy, said something gross, showed you a video of some 14-year-old girls innocently dancing, and you said something to them, if you reacted as though their face were covered in dog shit, if you said, I can't fucking hang out with you if you're a guy like that, and if every other man that was not an asshole did the same thing, you wouldn't have to worry about what your daughter was doing. Change the blueprint, change the architecture. It's up to you.
What is this job? And they say, okay, here's what we need you to do. We need you to make children know math. Wow. Do they want to know math? No, they don't want to know it. You need to make them know it against their will. Who are these children? Just whatever kids live near the building. How much do I get paid? About $10 every 4 years. What if I get really good at it? What happens? Nothing. Nothing happens. Nobody notices. Okay, I'll try.
People always ask, isn't it too much? But I'm like, it'll never be enough. Never. it'll never be enough. Like never ever is never enough, and it will never be enough.
你别笑。
哎呦我的妈！
你别笑，我最后赚一个赢吗？
哎呦我的妈！
你别笑，我最后赚一个赢吗？
哎呦我的妈！
你别笑，我最后赚一个赢吗？
哎呦我的妈！哎呦我的妈！
你别笑，
我操无情！哎呦我的妈！
我最后赚一个赢吗？你别笑，
哎呦我的妈！
我最 作业赚一点钱吗？
哎呦我的妈！
I bless you all.
Ignorance is the only demon in Hinduism. How else does Ma Kali slay all the demons without a drop of blood touching the ground? By liberating everyone with truth, empowering them with truth, telling those who use ignorance to enslave others and say the truth loud and clear, uncompromisingly. Ignorance is the only demon in Hinduism. When Ma Kali comes, she comes to liberate us all from those who use ignorance to enslave us.
The next question is from Dr. Shanti from Bangalore. Nityanandam, beloved Swamiji, Shashtanga Namaskars at your divine lotus feet. Can you please let us all know why majority women go through so much pain, anxiety and stress during birthing process through these most beautiful, cherishing and fulfilling moments in their life? In few fortunate women who practiced meditation, yoga, power of visualization, listening to music and divine chanting, birthing has been a great, joyful experience with minimal pain and stress. Can you please clarify?
Human beings have the tendency to go through the pain and suffering even during the expansion. That is why even when the wealth comes to human beings which they were seeking with their whole life, the responsibility brings suffering and pain to them to maintain the wealth. Same way, when expansion of life happens in the form of birthing, giving birth to a child, the responsibility body is not able to take. That is why it goes through pain, suffering and torture. Otherwise, the birthing experience is a spiritual experience. The great possibility of expansion happens to an individual when it expands into another one life. The moment of birthing can be used for the enlightenment of both individuals who is giving birth and who is getting birth. So, every moment the child takes birth, the child has a possibility for enlightenment, mother has a possibility for enlightenment. If both of them take the responsibility, both can get enlightened. Even if the child is not capable of taking the responsibility, mother can take the responsibility and she can get enlightened. Birthing is great possibility of enlightenment, as it is extension and expansion process of individual body and consciousness. When the birthing happens, if the child is kept without the umbilical cord being cut for at least few minutes, then the mother can experience two souls. The moment child comes out, the individual soul enters. Mother has one individual soul, the child has another one individual soul. The umbilical cord connection exists between two souls. Mother taking up the responsibility of birthing and preparing her consciousness for 9 months, and while giving the birth, she can achieve enlightenment. And after the birthing happens, without cutting the umbilical cord, if you remain, keep the child as it is, the individual soul which enters the child's body will have the initiation from the enlightened mother through the umbilical cord, which is the most powerful connection. The umbilical cord initiation directly makes the child experience enlightenment, and enlightened biomemory basis forms the basic experience of the child. When the enlightened biomemory forms the basis of a child, naturally child will grow as Jivan Mukta, living enlightened.
Nityananda Gurukul is the real Hogwarts. Kidnap yourself by yourself. Attend Paramashiva online spiritual retreat. You can only go Super Saiyan at Paramashiva.
I'm just gonna shake, 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 shake. Shake it off, shake it off. Shake it off, 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 shake it off. Hey, 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 just think while you were getting down and out about the liars and the dirty, dirty cheats of the world, you could have been getting down to this sick beat. My ex-man brought his new girlfriend. She's like, oh my God, but I just want to shake into the fella over there with the hella good hair. Won't you come on over, baby? We can shake, shake, shake.
Aloha Nityananda, reading a story on Ramanuja. Ramanujacharya reveals secret mantra to all fallen souls. Ramanujacharya in his own life made a very transcendental pathway. He went for initiation to one great acharya. His name was Ostipurna. By his own initiating, Guru Maharaj Mahapurna told him he should receive mantra from Ostipurna, saying there is no Vaishnava acharya like him. So Ramanuja asked, can you please give me the mantra? Ostipurna was thinking that this mantra is so pure that I have no inclination to give it to anyone in this world, because if it touches the lips of someone impure, it is not pleasing to the holy name of the Lord. So he responded, maybe some other day. Now you can return home. Ramanuja felt very dejected. Some days later, he walked all the way from Srirangam to this particular village to ask again, will you give me initiation and mantra? And Gostipurna again said, no, I will not give you initiation at this time. Ramanujacharya went 18 times, walking long distances, very humbly falling at Gostipurna's feet, asking, pleading to give him this initiation, and 18 times Gostipurna refused. Ramanuja, thinking himself so undeserving, so fallen, so useless in this existence, in such humility he began to cry, and one Vaishnava witnessing this told Gostipurna how Ramanuja's heart was so broken in humility, feeling himself so undeserving, he was simply weeping. So Gostipurna called for him. Sri Ramanuja approached and was told, that this mantra, my son, is so pure, it is so powerful that anyone who hears it will be liberated from the sufferings of this world and achieve eternal loving service of Lord Narayan. Furthermore, therefore, I am entrusting this mantra to you under the condition that you never, ever, ever disclose this to anyone else. Gosipurna then proceeded to give him the mantra. Ramanuja was very much blissful. He offered his prostrated obeisance to his Guru Maharaj, and he began to walk back to his home ashram. As he was walking, he saw so many people, and as he was looking at them, seeing how they are trying to enjoy their material world, simply cast into this ocean of duality, simply responding to various attachments and aversions, and being incriminated deeper and deeper and deeper in the laws of karma. And as a great devotee feels compassion, not only to the poor and the sick and to the old, but a devotee feels compassion upon anyone who is wasting the human life without Krishna consciousness. Upon seeing these people, his heart was just swelling over with pity and sympathy for them. He announced very loudly that everyone come to the local temple, get everyone to come, because I am going to give freely a most precious jewel to each and every one. This spread throughout the village, and soon there were thousands and thousands and thousands of people gathered at the temple. Ramanuja climbed to the top of the temple where everyone could see him on the terrace, and he said to them, "You are all more dear to me than my very life. Therefore I am going to give you the most precious wealth. I am going to give you a mantra by which chanting you will be free from the clutches of material suffering, and you will achieve the lotus feet of Lord Narayan." All the people were calling out, "Please give us this mantra." So Ramanuja said, "Please repeat after me." And then, as loud as he could sing, he called out for everyone to hear the secret mantra. "Everyone, repeat after me. Om Namo Narayana." Everyone was chanting very loud. "Repeat again," Ramanuja said. "Om Namo Narayana." He instructed them how to chant in the mood of service. Then everyone was filled in great bliss, and they all, with grateful hearts, offered their obeisance to Ramanuja. Ramanuja happily went back to his Guru's ashram. Meanwhile, Gosipurna heard the news of this tumultuous sound of thousands and thousands and thousands of people chanting the mantra that he did not feel anyone but Ramanuja in the whole world was qualified to sing, and when Ramanuja came in, very humbly offered his Dandavat Pranam. But his Guru was furious. He said, "Get out of here. Why are you causing me such great suffering to see your face? You are a fool. You are a rascal. You have disobeyed my order. Get out of here. For committing this offense, you will have to spend lifetimes in hell." Then Ramanuja, in great happiness and humility, with folded palms, and said, "My Guru Maharaj, you had told me that anyone who hears this mantra will get liberation from suffering and achieve the loving service of Lord Narayanan. So why not give liberation and Narayana Bhakti to everyone? Why should they suffer in this world? If all these thousands and thousands of people go back to Vaikuntha, for their sake, I am willing to suffer in hell for lifetimes." A real Vaishnava spoke up and said, "He is suffering to see the sufferings of others. Paraduka Duki." When Gosipurna heard this, understood the compassion and selfless devotion of Ramanuja, he began to weep. With his own arms, he embraced Ramanuja and said that from this day you are my Guru. You are teaching me the true qualities of a devotee, compassion and selfless devotion. And Ramanujacharya fell at the feet of Gosipurna, and he said, "I am your eternal servant, servant of your servants, and it is only by your grace, by your mercy, that all these people have been delivered." So in this way, Ramanuja was actually willing to go to hell. He was willing to suffer endlessly, commit any offense, if it would help others to achieve Krishna consciousness. Actually, Ramanuja knew the heart of his spiritual master, and therefore he was willing to put aside all his attractions and aversions to serve the real heart of his Guru Maharaj. What a beautiful story. Karpura Gauram Karunavataram Samsara Saram Bhujagendaharam Sada Vasantam Hidayaravinде Bhavam Bhavani Saitam Namami Bhavam Bhavani Saitam Namami Bhavam Bhavani Saitam Namami Aratikam Samarpayami to you. Aratikam samarpayami to me. Aratikam samarpayami to we.
I bless you all.
Seer, seeing, seen are one and the same. I'm watching you, watching me, watching you. To share, because of the clarity and standards by which I operate, striving for excellence, which mirrors the level that Patrick Divine maintains. Any foreign grant or trust created by those who claim to be in the Republic using non-Hague countries is fraud. Those who stand in honor will never accept any shade of dishonor. go look into file folders 6 through 8 from the full folders, which should be and is made by Patrick Divine himself, available for free at archives.org. Because without all the files, certain files will not open. The programmer who created it is brilliant. Go into those files and it is there, the full process. Anything else is fraud and lazy. To strive in excellence and stand in honor. Just like I asked the question, at what percent is it not slavery? Full upfront disclosure, transparency is standing in honor. Striving for excellence is what I do and live by, and so did Patrick Divine. He's very meticulous in his methodology. So if you are not having your foreign grantor trust and claim to be in America the Republic and using some non-Hague country that is not US of A, you are not in honor and standing in fraud. I believe Patrick Divine uploaded the files and his calls in complete package at archive.org. to maintain at least some level of integrity of his work, because he is very aware of demonic tendencies that are ever present in everyone, and choosing to stand in honor is one of the most challenging things every person has to go to bat for. That's why no one should be doing your paperwork. You should be doing your own and not just following the crowd. Just leaving this here and sitting with Patrick Divine's content. In the current time, it seems that only in America the Republic, when you correct your status, has individual self-governed sovereignty. Now, in Hawaii, only pre-Pa'au had self-governed sovereignty. Pa'au brought his brand of hierarchy, which includes the ali'i structure, etc. When Kamehameha had contact with the British, he actually massacred the people for the British brand of hierarchical constructs that he brought to this land. Those constructs have been established well before that contact in 1066, and then they had an update of that in 1666 with the Sister QV trust structure and the slavery constructs built in, steamrolling all of Earth peoples with their brand of control freak, including their whole humanitarian law, which is crap, because maritime and this and that is UCC, and that's all contracts. So the actual, which I have been saying for many years now, the only actual and factual humanitarian law is a global peace treaty, because treaties are contracts. And it's all just commerce, banking. Even Patrick Devine is very clear on that. Those constructs require payment for land in whatever form. That's why I continually ask, at what percent is it not slavery? So in this modern day, from what I can gather in my research, which is only a snippet of what's out there, it seems because of the way that the charter and this and that and the Constitution, we the people own or have that nobility, and thus any other titles of nobility like judge and this and that is not American Republic constructs. Those are English British constructs. So again, I am pointing because I choose to strive for excellence that mirrors the level that Patrick Devine requires. And I'm just leaving this here. Brands of crayon scribbles compiled in books, which are subjective truths. There are many people who impose just one of those books in the infinite sea of thought currents upon the whole of the masses, which they would not do to those who live on Jupiter. I do hope, just like I request, not to be imposed upon, bound, put in a box called a book, whatever book that is. You can call it a holy book or a book full of holes, whatever it is. That's all that is. Ideas being forced to be perpetuated. What are we perpetuating? What are we perpetuating? You are your own Neo.